just going to these different career center events, I got to meet the right people. And I took Engineering 145, which is one of the hardest classes in school from my perspective. And the professor, at the beginning, I applied to this class because it's a very popular class, and I didn't get in. And so I literally started stalking the professor online, like his email, his phone. I called him, I was like, hey, I really want to be part of this class because you give us the tools to start a company. And he was like, okay, you're like, spamming my inbox. Let's grab Subway tomorrow. And you guys can pitch me why you want to be part of this very intensive class. We grabbed lunch at Subway with Professor Tom Kosnick. And I tell him this whole story. And he was like, wow, like you really have that experience from an end user's perspective. Like you volunteered with these different nonprofits. You saw the pain that they face. You speak Spanish and you know how to relate to people that are in Peru. And the most important part when it comes to business model and entrepreneurship is investors don't invest in a business model. People don't invest in a product, but people invest in people, in the character, in the values of an entrepreneur. More than me having a successful business financial model that says, if you pitch in $100,000 in 3 years, we're gonna have $5 million in revenue, it's what's that integrity? What's that leadership, that tenacity that when someone believes in you, you will succeed. Those were the words of Kosnick that really pumped me up. And I took the opportunity. He was like, I'll let you get in, come. I'll provide you co-founders, team members, advisors, mentors, and coaches. And it's up to you to see how far you can reach. So as a result, I joined the class. And here we have a picture of the successfully built greenhouse in Pampas Grande. This was another initiative of what PAMPeru NGO does in Peru. In addition to building libraries, it's also greenhouses so they can empower kids to become leaders and business managers of their own organic farm. So the beauty of this is that many little kids would be selling organic carrots and potatoes and lettuces at 3,800 meters above sea level. No longer just reading books, which is great knowledge, but becoming doers of the word and actually executing and learning by doing outside of the classroom as well. So I was very, very pumped up to be part of the class. And the most important aspect of this stage was that when we finished the Engineering 145 class, Professor Kosnick gave us 3 points of advice. He said, number one, when you hire people, you need to hire very slow. Because the people that you bring in when you start a project, when you start a company, are going to influence your culture and your values. And you have to make sure that you form that very solid culture, very solid value creation platform in your company before you bring in people who may not agree with you. The second point Professor Kosnick taught me was always, always, always focus on plan A. Never have a plan B. Because if you have a plan B, you're going to be distracted from plan A. And a very cool anecdote I remember over a year and a half ago when SmileyGo was still relatively small, I started reaching out to close friends of mine that are entrepreneurs and CEOs of startups in San Francisco like Indinero or Forge or many other Teal Fellow startups. And I was like, hey, just in case my startup doesn't do well, like could I be your VP of marketing or like your VP of sales or your chief operating officer? And all the guys were like, Pedro, no, like of course we're friends, like we're gonna help you, but don't get distracted. Like you guys are doing extremely well, just keep focusing. And little did we know, right after last year, that at SmileyGo we received acceptance to Manos Accelerator, which is the only Latino Hispanic startup incubator in the Bay Area.
What's it called again?
Manos Accelerator. It's based in San Jose. And can you believe that? There's only one Hispanic tech accelerator in the whole Bay Area, like over 10 million people. Do you guys know, who knows what an incubator is? A tech accelerator. Do you want to explain?
So where you bring in an idea and then they help you either find a team to market it, create a prototype, and they help you with your business plan?
Correct, yeah. So there's only one of it out of myriads of different tech accelerators in San Francisco, Pleasanton, Pleasant Hill, everywhere. So we got into this program and we were very, very excited. First of all, they provided coaches and advisors, an investor network, and also access to like a San Francisco office. So this is a picture of our office in 44 Tehama Street in Galvanize, where we worked with other technology companies, and we were like, we could share our code, we could share our struggles, our challenges, like, hey, we're raising this very small angel round, or hey, we're really struggling getting the first customer, how can we do this? So we were very, very blessed by having access to Manos Accelerator in 2015. So then, what brings me to the next point of this presentation is, after creating Smiley Go, which is a platform that helps companies fund nonprofits, essentially the same story that we saw, but this is a repeatable business model. So we're providing the 1.7 million nonprofits information to companies, businesses like Fortune 500 or a local business like, for example, Bank of the West or Silicon Valley Bank, companies that just focus on specific regions to fund and invest in nonprofit partners, to influence and advocate for public policy. Like, for example, veteran issues, or refugee issues, or women's rights, or the ecosystem, ecology. So essentially what became a very intriguing and successful standpoint of me volunteering in Peru turned into a repeatable business model where we're providing data for corporate funders to make an impact and fund the different nonprofits that fit their marketing strategy. And at the end, I met with my mom, obviously, and she was like, yeah, you couldn't prove me wrong. And I was like, yeah, I truly can. I truly believe that it is better to give than to receive. Indeed, if you focus on creating value for others, you will go even further. Rather than you attending a career center event or going to a conference and thinking, what can I gain for this? What's in it for me? Is the mentality of, hey, I'm here to empower others. I'm here to serve others. I'm here to see how I can help people thrive. So for example, from my experience, I know a bunch of founders and entrepreneurs, and I know a bunch of investors. These are two groups that want to know each other because they do business together. So if I know a founder that's into biotech, building health IT companies or trying to disrupt the healthcare industry, and I know a venture capital fund that invests in biotechnologies and bio companies, I connect them. And this is sort of the mentality that you need to start embracing so that people can know you as their social broker. People can know you as, he or she is a connector. He or she is the mover or shaker that is focusing on helping others. Not only focusing on, it's me, like help me, invest in me, or let me get into this class or me, but hey, this is the person that goes beyond himself, goes beyond herself. So the most important part of this whole presentation, and a question that I want to ask you guys, is what bridge are you going to build this year in 2017? What bridge are you going to build this week? What bridge are you going to build today? Will it be a bridge of love and sharing, a bridge of unity? Or will it be a bridge of hate, of fear, of me? It's up to you, and you decide what to build. At Smiley Go, for Joey and I, it's for something higher, for someone greater. We don't work on this software company to make it a very lucrative business model, to get a lot of press or media attention, to go to different conferences and go to Capitol Hill and meet senators like Kamala Harris or Nancy Pelosi, minority leader. We do it to serve others, because we know that this life is quick and we want to make an impact, and we do it for someone higher, for a greater purpose. And that will help you stand out, I promise you. More than you focusing on, I want to be successful, I want to do this, I want to study 40 hours a week and just sleep 4 hours every day, is think of a greater problem. Think of serving something much higher, someone much greater. And that will take you much, much further. More than, us having offices in San Francisco or getting funded by Frank Baxter, who's the CEO of Jefferies Group, the investment bank, or being part of Skydeck, which is Berkeley's top accelerator, is having those values that we want to create and help others. That's what's gonna take you much, much further. So start building that bridge, and thank you so much.